Hi. How are we doing?
I have coffee now.
I
We
have
all have
coffee as
coffee.
well. Yeah.
Except Jake, who has food.
Um, Jake doesn't need coffee. He just eats souls. Now, I know that used to be a joke reserved for somebody else, but Jake, who are we just having a conversation with?
Scott.
The captain?
Phaedril.
What?
Oh,
That was cool.
Look,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Phaedril's never taken a soul, ever. He doesn't have the power to do it.
Oh.
Like,
Oh, he has.
yeah, sure he has.
Yeah, I turned off the sound notification for things like that because Anno liked to be a jerk one week. So loud. So I was like, boom, turn off the sound notification for the little guys. Just to be like, ha, ha. And try to disrupt the game with the bloop. All right, so what happened to Neil's mic? He's still on the garbage mic.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. Thanks, thanks, Viking.
During the breaks, I like to walk around and like still be able to talk to the people.
He brings us to the loo. He stands there and takes a piss. We have to listen to it.
Let's be really clear about this. I don't stand up when I'm peeing in my own home.
Okay. So I'm just going to walk away from that conversation.
You can't walk away. You're sitting down.
oh,
I want to play the game.
You know who else would have wanted you to play the game?
oh no.
Norway. Hashtag remember Norway.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Wow.
Dare. You dare. You take that back right now or
We have
I'm not
limited
RPing
time.
anymore.
How
I will stand Norway.
do you stand somebody that doesn't have any video footage?
We
You
all
just, like-
know what the core of Norway's being is.
You just start randomly posting all of these like random snippets of your favorite Norway lines.
I have got some screenshots.
So one of those, what was his name? Burned Orb. How every once in a while he'll just like throw out these random like collection of like from like 2016.
He has, yeah, a bunch of quotes of you, yeah. It's got them in a folder somewhere.
Yeah, it's just like I'm sure at some point in time FBI are going to be searching through his computer because we all know that'll definitely happen to Burn, and they'll be like, "What are these quotes?" Long story that.
But that'll lead them to investigating you, Scott.
I'm fine with it. Bring it on, FBI. I'm squeaky. Listen, I don't have Alexa in my house. I don't have to worry about it. Do any of you guys have family members with Alexa?
No.
Okay.
But you have a phone, right? A smartphone.
I do, yes. And
It listens to everything
No,
you say, so.
I know. But so my parents' house, they have moved like one room at a time. They've replaced it with like an Alexa in each one of the rooms, whether it be because they want to have like an additional thermometer for like efficiency, whatever it might be. But it's like an Echo B3 that has Alexa on it, right? So we'll be like, I'll visit my parents and they'll be like, start yelling at the wall. Hey, Alexa, play, I don't know, name a song. Betty Boop. My mom loves Betty Boop. Alexa, play Betty Boop. Alexa, play Betty Boop. There it goes. Isn't that nice? And like, you realize 2 minutes into the song, you really didn't want to listen to it that long. Alexa, stop the... Alexa, hey, Alexa, stop the music. It's so nice, isn't it? And I'm like...
Have I told you about my most insane the devices are listening to story with the Phantom of the Opera thing? So I was watching a Netflix show called Umbrella Academy, and it opens with Phantom of the Opera. So I started humming along to it. It's the only thing that had anything to do with Phantom of the Opera I've dealt with in months. And then Google started suggesting Phantom of the Opera videos on YouTube.
It's like I've been watching with Chloe. I've been watching the Marvel Avengers series, so like Hulk, and then Iron Man, blah blah blah, in the order that's suggested. So I've been watching through it, and after each one, my YouTube will then select me clips from the film I've just watched, because it's listening to everything that's said.
Yep.
Or it's It's like I'm not even surprised by it anymore.
It's
Well,
creepy.
you have an Android, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's literally Google listening to you, and they also own YouTube,
Yeah,
so that makes
exactly,
sense.
exactly,
Yeah. That's the same. That's at least the same company to one degree or another. But yeah, no, it's creepy. Last thing actually. So luckily, like iPhones are usually pretty good once they learn your voice. Like things like if I said her name, hey, what's her name? It'll only respond to your voice. So if I have 10 people in the room and everybody tries, it doesn't respond to anybody. But for some reason, last night when we were watching Wonder Woman 1984, what's her name was talking. I don't know the actress's name, but you know, brunette girl that plays Wonder Woman. She was talking,
Ow.
and my phone reacted to it and started like looking up what she was saying, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, what? I was like, "Do I sound like her?" And Brittany looks at me and she goes, "Yes,
No.
you sound like a tall, sexy woman." And I was like, "I'll take it."
Unfortunately,
favorite-
don't.
Yeah, my favorite thing with the introduction with all these various AI things is just watching either a stream or a video, and someone will be talking, and then they'll be like, "No, Siri, not you," just randomly.
That's me. I have it
So
saying.
good.
There's a trick.
I
You
love
have
it.
to turn it face down, but because like, God forbid, because I have to be very mindful to have it face down, because sometimes it'll think I'm trying to call somebody, and like God forbid it called like a boss, because I have all my
Oh,
bosses,
no.
like a plethora of people well above me in my phone, and if all of a sudden it was like calling Missy, like it'd be like.
D&D.
I said one of my bosses, her name was, so I was like, okay, good. And then, yeah, no, it wouldn't be good. Anyways, so, they'd be like, Scott, I got a weird voicemail from you. F's in chat. What are you?
Justice for Norway?
Yeah.
What are you an activist in Norway?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, anyways, that's different. So, we do talk about those kind of things. So that wouldn't be the. She'd be like, I didn't know what's happening in Norway. Is there something I should be aware of? Like that, she would actually be interested. So, anyways, back to the actual game.
Let's move right on over past that. Good night. Move right. Move. Keep moving.
Captain Lady, go.
Okay, back to game. So she invites you in there. Like I said, she walks off of the wall that's across from you and brings it so that the floor is her floor is the same floor as yours from your perspective, and walks over to you and says, "Thank you for joining with me." There's a few details that we're gonna have to go
Joining
over.
with them?
Joining with to like coming into what? Coming into her chamber.
Joining me.
Joining with me.
I will have to teach you the Queen's English, Scott.
Ugh. No thanks. I'll stick with my coffee.
Oh, I forgot. Everyone thinks we sound like this over here.
Fortunately, no. We all think you sound like what's his name? Dean. Yeah. Like a sexy English accent, not whatever you've got.
Yeah,
So-
you just say a whole accent is sexy. Someone clip that.
Dean has a sexy accent.
Sure.
All right. Chat, we're gonna have to make a poll on this one while I start RPing.
Look, we were doing so well, and then you booted Norway from the chat permanently, and that's it. We've lost it.
What was the Captain Lady bringing us into the office for?
Exactly. RP time. So and there we go. Poll started. You so yeah, you have she says thank you for joining me. There's so many details to go over. It's too much for us to actually hope to get done in one conversation, and we can't waste our time as stretched as time might be in a place like this discussing matters. We're going to have to act. Allow me to make things as clean and simple as possible. I'm sure you've noticed the physiological similarities between the creatures that attacked the ship and myself.
Yeah,
Huh.
I have noticed.
Listen, what?
It was so one notice, and you're kind of like, oh, I didn't really check those out. I was more helping people than hurting people. She says, we both are more or less the same people. Steve cheated. We are more or less the same people. A race called Gith, but there was a division of sorts. Whereas I'm called a Gith Zerai. That's actually the name of my people, my race. They are something else called the Gith Yankee. Whereas we seek, to one degree or another, order and self advancements, degree of perfection. We look to elevate ourselves. They look to cause chaos, whereas we celebrate the individuality of the particular person in question. They work for a queen. And this is the crux of the situation that we happen to be in. I mentioned before that where it is that we're going, where it is that she gives a slight look over to Grishka, hand might be being brought to. I fear that is where where their queen might be. If they have that ship that we witnessed, who's to say that's the only ship, as massive in size as it was? That could be her flagship. She could have been here for this endeavor herself. Or that could just be one of many in an armada of ships of that size, carrying a crew of that number. The important thing to know about Her Majesty is that she does not like to be challenged by her people. She's striving to seek her own degree of, shall we say, perfection. When those of her children grow to be too powerful individually, she, as far as I understand, consumes them in one way or another, collecting their individual power into her own, allowing her to amass more and more power.
Oh.
And she's probably wherever we're going.
I'm sorry, where are we going?
Please fill Alorel in on the details that you've discovered and anything else that you may have gleamed since then.
Well, firstly,
No.
have you informed any of your crew of your dealings, of why we're here?
The crew follow. And then she'll turn, as you giving you a moment to go speak to him, she turns to go collect something from a nearby table.
Ilen, you wanna take this one?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where to start. So,
As just so you know, giving Tesh himself a moment where to start, she actually goes and collects a quill, freshly filled with ink, and a parchment, kind of like with like a backing to it. So it's like something for him to like hold and write with. She actually hand those over to Grishka, and say, the best to scale is if you could for the different objects seen, and we'll hand that over to you to start trying to illustrate what it is that you believe to be true. You personally don't have to draw this. You're not as amazing of a person as Rena is. I stand with Rena. And Ilen, you can go to the RP. Jake, you can do a crafts check.
the reason why we're here is to find evidence of old, hopefully not quite dead gods. There's something called the entropy is the name, right? I'm just trying to. Is it entropy or?
Entropy is what you were calling it before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, the entropy that is consuming mass amounts of souls, even entire planes, and supposedly has consumed gods. But the god we're working for has a theory that it can never actually truly kill those gods. And we're here to try and find evidence of that. And, well, the port we were going to, Windfall Port, the Spire, the Githyanki have a giant ship currently towing it. And in seeing that, we realize that the spire looks like a giant hand. We think it might be part of one of these dead gods.
Right.
We are considering following it to its destination because we're here to find evidence of those gods. If they're towing pieces of them where they're going.
What he's trying to say is there's a god war, and you are an unwilling participant at the moment in what's going on.
The war, that's a whole nother. We can explain that later. That's going to take even longer. Basically, we're trying to find a way to stop the entropy.
And this will fix your god war.
She says, standing
say
to listen
no
to
one
this, she
is
actually chimes in and says, it's not their war. If these far-fetched ideals are true, it's all of our war. Even those of us that are as far removed from all of the dealings elsewhere as we are here. It impacts all of us.
Because it would
Good
take a long.
question.
I was going to say, in RP wise, it would take a long time to go through everything with the God War. Can we say that I discussed what the God War was in brief to him?
Yeah.
Like the idea of the souls and everything. So blah, info dump.
Well, not necessarily everybody in chat knows what this is.
Oh, okay.
So if
That's
you
a
want to
good
give
point.
like a snipped version.
Okay, so the short version is some gods have been sacrificing souls to the entropy to keep it at bay, and they've been trading these souls amongst each other as a method of keeping the entropy at bay and deciding power. Is that deciding power, like making sure everyone gets an even amount, was part of it, right?
You know that they give souls to the entropy to keep the entropy at bay, almost like paying a tithing towards it, right?
Yeah, and
As for amongst each other, that's a different conversation. You don't know
okay.
exactly why they do that. Well, you know that
Okay.
that the souls seem to always, upon death, you actually are immediately pulled towards the plane that you were born from, which is one of the inner planes, and that soul trading will happen with the outer planes. And you know the outer plane. You know that the. No, that's actually all you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so then I'll explain that part of it. And the god that we're currently working for, the gods, are new. We actually kind of helped them ascend, but that's another thing. But what they're doing is they believe that this isn't right. That souls shouldn't be used as currency to the outer planes, and that souls should go where they're meant to go, and especially that they shouldn't be given to the entropy.
She'll chime in and say, I know it's a bit hard to swallow, like an herbal tea, a bitter taste with no medicinal benefit. But nonetheless, it's something that we all have to take in. I would not believe these words myself if they were not delivered to me by Ninkaro themselves. Do you know who Ninkaro is? She says, pretty much assuming not.
I've heard some mutterings. I don't know the name Ninkaro, but I've heard of a new god. It's not every day.
Not Ninkaro. Sorry, she wouldn't have said Ninkaro. My apologies. She would have said the Arbiter.
The Arbiter, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some mention of the name. It's not every day that a new god ascends.
She nods and says, "So then you know the significance of being able to have a conversation directly with one."
Well, I've never had one. I've never spoken to anyone who has.
She looks to her left and to her right. Yes, you have.
No, you've spoken with two.
3. She's also spoken directly to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. G'day. It says g'day day. That's
And
like
so
that's like is that like a ATM machine?
I don't get the ATM machine.
What?
Automatic transaction machine. ATM machine.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah. Or like Milky Way galaxy. It's like saying Milky Way.
I learned that recently as well. Yeah.
Or any of the other ones.
My favorite. The scientific name for I think it's the brown bear is literally bear.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
it's 3 different ways of saying bear.
Nice.
That's funny. Oh, teller machine, whatever. I say transaction. It's better.
Polar bear is also bear, and thus it's the bear ring and polar ring.
You have a weird amount of knowledge about bears.
Look, it
Well,
was
he is
a
one.
TikTok and it was amusing.
All right. So, anyways, you back to you boys. Go ahead.
Grishka would just casually slide in there. We've spoken to two, not just one.
So now you're here working for this god, trying to find the essence of an old god that's been eaten by this entropy.
Yes.
And this god sent the 3 of you.
No, and your tone is not appreciated. In short, there is a task set before us. We have agreed to this task, and so we're going to see it through. The rewards, the riches at the end, are well worth the risk.
The risk being the death of everyone.
Well, we all die eventually. Even
Most
those
of
that
us-
escape it here for their own reasons.
Most of us get to keep our souls.
Most. For a time.
Alaro will cross his arms. So, your plan is to follow this ship.
She kind of like looks away from the conversation over at one of the walls that happens to be a floor, and she goes over to it and steps onto the wall again, easily doing that like 90-degree step over to the wall, and will pull out a scroll case that she has over there with like maps and whatnot on it, and starts kind of like rolling it out onto, so it looks kind of like a picture on a wall for you guys, as opposed to what it actually is, which is, you know, for her rolling it out on a table on the floor before her. Again, gravity's optional. And so she kind of like rolls it out to start looking things over. She says, follow it, sort of. Grishka, at this point in time, I imagine you're kind of like somewhat satisfied with, by the way, I don't know if you saw Roll20 chat, if you wanted to look that or not. If you were just ignoring me because you're mean.
Oh no, I didn't see it. I mean, it's a drawing of like to scale, and it's not that important to waste a lot of time.
Sure. So yeah, I imagine
Why
this
are you
point
like this?
my mom didn't hug me enough as a child. So you they I imagine you hand it over to Elrel so he can kind of like see to scale, like obviously your ship size, and you're doing this best as you can describe. Be like, oh, if our ship is this big, and this is the size of a typical building on the spire, then you like show that the spire has a bunch of little buildings onto it, right? And then you see that you have the big massive hand that it seems like the spire, like just a chunk of land with a bunch of like towers and buildings and whatnot on it. Seems to be, and then The massive, somebody had described it in chat earlier as being like Titanic in size, which is accurate. Massive wedge of, we'll call it a ship that happens to exist out there that threw chains onto this thing and they're carting it across the astral plane. Again, the scale to it is just massive. So it's kind of like a little stick figure. This is you. No. So you kind of portraying that over to him. So you can kind of look and see like the futility of what it was that you just described, Alorel, as the potential plan.
Fucking hells. So, we barely survived an encounter with a ship 1/10 the size of ours. I don't do maths well enough to work out how much bigger that ship is.
The only
You
thing is-
can't turn invisible, can you? It looks at Ilen.
not naturally.
You fucked.
She says from the wall, standing on the wall adjacent to you guys, don't worry about that. We can have that taken care of if need be. I have a sack full of powder that'll assist.
It's not right. The other crew members didn't agree to this.
She looks at you and says, you swore to follow Captain's orders, and Captain's orders you will follow.
My captain died.
Your captain is standing before you. Not's dead.
Alorel will take a step forward towards her.
Mm-hmm. Slowly sips his cup of matcha tea.
I saw that thing cut you down. Cut you down. What hope does the ship have?
If it cut me down, then why do I stand before you now? What is dead stays dead. I did not, though. Brought to the brink, I imagine we can all agree upon. We all are fortunate that Ilen here has certain abilities and has been kind enough to use a considerable amount of them for the entire crew. The entire crew. And we lost as many as we did because we were to a degree caught off guard. And because we fought head on. That's not what we'll do this time. They don't have the same kind of ability to communicate with one another as me and my people do. If they are seen out one at a time, they can be handled individually one at a time. And certainly I think we can get a small enough crew onto the spire, she says. And she finishes taking, it looks like in real life, you know what a compass is, right? And I don't mean a compass meaning like you're holding like a disc with a needle that turns, but a compass is in like the thing that kind of, you use for drawing like circles and whatnot. You know what I mean? You use them in like when you were a child in school. It's that pointy end and a pencil end. So anyways, pulls out she pulls out a compass and like snaps the drawer shut and places it on the table, which again for you guys is the wall. Before her and says, we will get you onto it so you can be there as it gets to where it is it's going. I will not be able to approach so closely. They'll easily detect us. They'll swarm us. They'll kill us. And they'll take all of what is ours, as they always do.
Are we going to take their ship or this one?
For the small group that moves forward, it'll have to be theirs. It was reported to me that it's actually in pretty good shape.
Better shape than ours.
Better shape than ours. Ours will be able to leg us along enough to follow and wait for the right opportunity to have you launch off with it, careening at extreme speeds.
Alorel, I understand just how much all of this is, and I understand how it must look to you with regards to endangering everyone here. But
It wasn't your decision to endanger everyone here, Ilen. You saved the lives of many of the crew. He puts a hand on your shoulder.
But given what the stakes are, this needs to happen. If any of the people that die here happen to go to the wrong god, they're gone forever. Just because their soul happened to be promised to the wrong one. Whereas if we can stop this, souls will go where they're meant to go, to the gods they worship, or otherwise.
My people, where I'm from, we're hunted, hated, creatures of superstition, of nightmare. Freedom is not something many of my people know. Not true freedom. You two are young. I do not think that you will be able to achieve your task without help. I owe you a debt for saving the lives of my friends and crew members, so I will help.
Thank you.
We may be young, Aurorum, but we've made miracles before. But that is what this is. If we pull this off, it is a miracle.
Yes.
I came here because it is what my God wills. It was given to me by his servant directly. I must do this, but as for yourself, do you follow any of the gods?
I follow myself. Though, I have an affinity for the plane of fire. I spent some years there. It's as close to home as I've ever had.
He has crabs.
Well.
It was itching and burning.
Ilen's just gonna be like, pull out the Burning Legion's credential. I spent a little time there as well.
I don't know if you'd be fond of the Burning Legion or not. That's up to you.
Alaro's relatively neutral, so he'd recognize it as being from there and of the Burning Legion, but he wouldn't. He like raises an eyebrow, but doesn't react over much.
If I
to
see
it.
him like register what the Burning Legion is, that's the cue he was looking for. Is say, I'm not entirely sure why I was given those credentials, but someone there, something to look into later, if there is a later.
Well, if you're fighting for justice and good, to save others, I might say it seems rather unfair of your God to send you to your deaths.
Not for me to question him. I do as I'm told.
I
Blind obedience.
barely had a life before any of this. What I had, I wouldn't call a life. My family was about all I had, and I was just skating through it. All of this has given me something to work towards, something more. The pull that I get, the direction that I've followed has paid off so far. I'll follow it to the end.
The three of you are so somber, and morbid. Do you not see the opportunity here? Woe is me. My poor experience. I'm sacrificing so much. Others have sacrificed. Do you want your legacy to be that of a complaint? If we're going to succeed, it's going to be with a plan, not by leaving it to chance, and certainly not by moping about. Let's plan our course. Let's make sure that the shot that we get is not a missed one, and the opportunity put before us is seized.
You want to give us the best chance?
Just out of curiosity, I'm just going to pop one of these while she's doing that speech.
You said that these Githyanki would detect you.
The ship, yes. The ship, yeah.
Give us the best chance to get aboard that we can. If you really believe that this is worth it, then act as a diversion.
She sighs and says, "The thought did cross my mind. I would have to play one of two roles in this situation. One of them is to guarantee your arrival. To make ourselves gather attention. The other is to provide a degree of escape, if an escape can be had. Which means hanging back and not being noticed. But something tells me the three of you are, in your somber and morbid mindsets, seeing this as a one-way trip.
Not necessarily.
To join your god after you're done? She's...
Ilen would actually laugh at that. No. Hopefully we have ways that might work for escape, at least. And he looks to sort of to one and just... I will say, I keep saying one because one hasn't told him to call him Grishka yet. looks to one with just...
You haven't hit that friends tier yet, okay?
it just hasn't
It's
come
like
up. I think
friendly
it's not
acquaintance.
I don't think they've called each other by name in a long time, except for when he called Ilen earlier. But anyway,
He's a work associate, so...
Who's that?
we
work
we have methods to get out of there if worse comes to worse, but I don't know if they'll work.
Well, we should hit this with a plan. And
Yes.
if we can have a way out, it would be preferable. I still want to see home one more time.
Indeed, and while I'll follow that pull to the end, I'd rather not be anytime soon.
Yes.
So then she's devising a plan and going over the details with you and whatnot. More or less the compass that she has there allows her to like do extreme math, like plotting trajectory and stuff like that. Just like utilizing this compass before her. And it kind of like plans it out and shows like the bylines and whatnot and kind of gives her, it kind of like locks into her mind a degree of understanding of what it is timing to plan this. Like you imagine if you were utilizing this thing while planning shots of the trebuchet, that you would pretty much always hit your target, right? So you have to imagine it's almost like for the sake of plotting the trajectory, it's almost like a true strike kind of compass she has in her hand. Okay, cool.
That's cool.
But the decision needs to be made amongst the three of you as to whether or not you want her to act as a decoy to further guarantee your arrival, or if you want her to hang back and act as a almost like a pickup to further guarantee your departure. What is the thing that you want her to be able to focus on with the ship? Your three characters have very heavy say in this.
Yeah. So knowing that acting as a distraction means likely a lot of death, Ilen would be on the side of acting as an escape.
Grishka would see sense in the in the what was it? The opposite of what you just said.
Yeah. So more or less making sure that it's one of those things where they may die, but they're probably going to end up dying at some point anyways. At least we have a task that is interplanar important. That's what you're trying to say there, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So more or less,
you know,
our
like,
arrival is more important than whether or not we depart. Go ahead.
well, we can trust in. I'm going to put my trust in the fact that after my mission, Vrogar will help me to get back.
Ah, being faithful.
Let me plane shift. You know what I mean? Give me that spell slot, that plane shift, buddy.
What? And Neil.
Oh.
They split the vote to
This is familiar, isn't it?
I will say, Ilen is very easily swayed. He personally likes the idea of the less death, but that's just because he's kind of a sap. So he hasn't picked it for a tactical reason. He's picked it because he doesn't want more people to die for him. That's why he picked it.
Yeah, he's a softie.
It wouldn't take much to convince him that the other way is more important.
He drinks tea, is what you're saying. I gotcha.
Definitely coffee.
Oh, he's like a thumb.
I don't particularly like being in this position. I think that the crew shouldn't have to wager their lives.
Okay.
She looks at you and says, don't forget that almost everybody that is here because they wagered their lives. And every task we have ever gone on has been dangerous. They put trust into their captain for a reason. They've been brought from the brink many times before, and they will many times in the future.
It's not my decision to make. I've spent my life taking lives or saving lives, but always in ones, twos, small amounts. I'm not someone who's responsible for other people.
She says, good, then I'll make the decision. I made a deal with the Arbiter. And the deal was to see to your arrival. We will see to your arrival. And she looks back at you and says, decoy enough. That's to Alorel. Making sure that he's pulled in. It's part of the...
If you survive, on the presumption that we won't, he would reach into his jacket and pull out a letter. If you could get that delivered.
She says, to your home.
I'm old for my kind. Very old.
She nods and says, that'll be an interesting voyage. Nonetheless, it is a request that I am capable and willing to acquiesce. And so she takes it and she'll tuck it into her own jacket pocket, and then starts really plotting out the plan and how it is that she would go about it and when you guys would launch off. And the short version is to tail this thing from behind for a while, not till it gets too close to where it is that it's going. Obviously, the sooner is actually the better. And then literally the ship that you're going off of, it more or less acts like a torpedo. Once it goes, it just goes. There's no like a missile, but missiles have like course correction. But you know, whether with little flippers on them, this doesn't really have much by way of course correction.
Little flippers.
Yeah, a little like.
So then there's just Scott like in a pilot seat, and he's like tries to turn, and he's like, the flippers aren't working.
Damn. This is something I would discuss with the captain at some stage during all of this, was if the repairs aren't going to be finished in time, if the repairs would help, Ilen would be willing to use one spell slot to do the make whole.
Make whole wouldn't be only one spell slot. That'd be like a greater make whole. It would be, you would need multiple make wholes to be able to repair everything. But she shakes her head,
okay.
and she shakes her head and says, "No, especially considering how things have played out. You are certainly going to need to keep every bit of what you have left."
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Grishka would also have a conversation with the captain as well.
Personally?
Yeah.
I guess you have to wait till everybody leaves. So she finishes plotting it out, and when you guys would like launch from the ship, you go and having this thing kind of spring forward. She does say that unfortunately, not everybody would have the capacity to be able to manipulate this thing. It actually takes a rather keen person to be able to do it, which means somebody with a high intelligence score. I don't know what each of your individual characters' intelligence scores is. I know Grishka's not the brightest. He's not an idiot. He's not the brightest.
I'm +3.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart. Alorel?
Like 10, I think. 10.
Oh, so you're done with
good, I'm a
Grishka.
pilot then.
Yeah, you're actually smart enough that you'd be able to manipulate it. So she offers to have a helmsman for you, a 4th crew member. That's up to you guys as to whether or not you'd want to have somebody more adept at this, or if Ilen would be like, I don't know, I feel as though maybe the lesser is better.
God, it's like, do you wish to rely on your rolls?
Well, I mean, a helmsman, that's his job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is his job, and Scott has to daddy's dice as well.
The thing this is once again, this is what Ilen's thinking about, is once we're there, that helmsman is likely fucked.
He's slightly fucked anyway if he's going to be on a ship acting as a distraction. In fact, he might be a little less fucked.
You're not wrong. And there's no way of like testing how I am at flying it before we go, right?
I mean, once it goes, it goes.
It goes, okay. In that case, we only have one shot. We should probably have a helmsman.
Okay. So you agree to it, and she nods and says, I'll see to it that it gets arranged. So she finishes plotting out the plan, and then she says, perhaps each of you should go and get some rest. Get familiar with the quarters that you'll be utilizing to transport from here to there.
Yeah, I need to speak to those two first.
She says, we have a very limited supply of potions. We could always give you a few if need be. And I do have that sack that I had mentioned beforehand. You guys want to go ahead and roll me 2d8? Who wants to roll the 2d8?
I'm doing it.
Snake eyes.
Oh.
Perfectly balanced.
I saw that one and was like, oh god, it's Snake Eyes. He actually did it.
8 uses of the invisibility, which to cover the entire little ship that you have there, because of the way that it goes, it would take 4 uses to cover the whole skiff, more or less, that you'd be using to make sure that it remains invisible. The invisible lasts a considerable amount of time. 4 uses to make this,
4 uses
to make the
after
skiff
the approach.
Yeah, correct. Yes. But even for the approach itself, making yourself invisible, because just because the skiff's invisible, it can be one of those things where you're on an invisible skiff, or unless you're within it, but there's not much within space. Go ahead.
I just love the idea of just, the fuck is that? There's just Ilen floating in space in nothing. Because you'd both be invisible, and it's just Ilen floating towards them.
What would the theme song to that be? Like them just looking up and sitting here, like, hang on, never gonna let you up, never gonna let you down.
Pretty much, yep. Okay, so can at least one person fit inside?
All of us can, like sardines.
He didn't answer.
Oh, my apologies. You don't fit inside of it. You fit on top of it.
Okay,
You
so
just
that's
think
why
you
they're
saw
all
the
hanging
others.
off of it.
Yeah.
on a
Like
rope,
like
yeah.
so- like a sardine tin that's had its lid peeled off.
Yeah, but there is a spot where if somebody wanted to, they can kind of like tuck themselves within if need be. So you definitely could have at least one of you. I mean, if you got real comfy, you might be able to have multiple, but you could have at least one of you kind of like almost imagine like a speedboat. I imagine each of you in real life have seen a speedboat, how the entire thing is exposed, but it has like little almost like quarter walls, right? And you can totally like kind of like lie underneath like one of the little wally kind of areas to like, you can't see me, I'm here, huh? Until you get like really close, obviously.
So 8 uses for the ship.
I remember that Family Guy episode where Superman's kind of like flying along and he's like, hey, and she's like, more or less like, I'm sorry, I'm on the invisible toilet. And he's like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I remember.
And then he goes up and then she like walks forward and he's like, I couldn't help but notice you didn't wash your hands in the invisible sink. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. Anyways.
Okay.
You wanted to have an aside?
Yeah, Alariel will catch you by your little earsies, pull you in.
This is Ilen, correct? Or both of you?
Both.
Okay, well, so she's also still in the room, to be clear, because...
Oh, he doesn't care. Yeah.
Okay,
she can
cool.
listen, whatever.
Now, this is mostly for your benefit, Ilen. When we get there, whatever happens, it seems that the purpose of your visit requires you to get there. Ilen, you spend a lot of time caring for others. It's admirable. But don't waste the sacrifices of others to help someone needlessly. If Grishka tells you to run, if I tell you to run, then you must do so. If you reach whatever it is you're hoping to reach successfully, then we win. Even if some of us die. If you stay to die with us, then everyone's died for nothing.
That is the moment I'm dreading, but I will make sure I'm ready if it happens.
Good.
Task is the priority.
Yes.
We all must remember that.
Okay. This is how we die.
I think Ilen is yeeting out of the room, and Jake wanted to have a conversation.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So when they leave, he'll just approach the captain.
Grishka,
Captain.
you had another word?
What is your name?
You can call me Captain. Why?
Just wondering. Captain. I don't think I'll see you again. I don't know what Nan and Kara promised you, but I dare say you'll still see it through, whether you are in this life or the next. Thank you for what you're doing. He'll extend a hand to shake your hand.
I think this is a trick, but me, the DM, thinks it's a trick, but the character will.
I don't know what
extend to take your
Nankara
hand.
promised you.
Then he
But
casts.
here's your reward right here.
He's gonna cast torture or something on her. He's totally going to. Go
He's gonna
ahead.
brand her. He's gonna brand her. He's gonna mark her.
Ready
He's got
for
Aurorum.
interrogation?
Yeah, that's what it's called, interrogation. He's touching her for a reason. He knows what he's doing. Go ahead.
Does she shake my hand?
Yeah, of course she does. Yeah. I the DM, am skeptical, but the character wouldn't be. Not
all right,
with that
let's just-
delivery. She wouldn't roll a sense motive against that delivery.
Oh, that's all right. We'll just plane shift her out now and get rid of her. this was a suicide mission from the start. No, he would just shake her hand. He knows that she knows she's going to die. He appreciates the fact that, she's doing it anyway, and he respects it. One thing he will say is, Captain, I've seen planes with no god that the entropy was destroying. The place we are now, does it have a god that resides here?
This is between other worlds. If
It's Raerin,
It's-
aka
it's
the Between Places God.
I'm gonna avoid the jokes that could come from that. And she says, this is between other worlds. Like anywhere else, any god can be here, but no god calls this its home that I know of. But the musings of gods are far and beyond my understanding. You're more tied to them than most others I've ever met, and I've lived a considerable time.
Go on, show her how close you are to God.
He's very clean.
Make this real.
He's very clean. Because we all know cleanliness is godliness.
You mentioned a queen. Obviously, this is someone we want to avoid.
Yeah, she's the slumbering queen.
My God.
Don't worry, I'm still planning on taking care of her. Don't worry.
Like
This
he
is the last move.
shotgun
Kill the
blasts through
stumbling
that one
queen.
queen, goes one down, one to go.
Jake heard that during my update streams, chat can interact with Adir, and Jake's like, interact we will.
I
I've got
didn't hear
that.
this,
Shut.
but I'm hearing of it now. What's this?
Nothing. Keep
You've
going.
made a grave
Maybe we
mistake.
Oh, I've wait. Is this what I can use daddies for?
What? No, keep going.
Okay, all right. I'll have to tune in more and work that out. No, he'll just say, you're of the same species as these Gith, except a different subspect. Is there anything you can tell us about them that will help in case?
Wait,
Just we
Krishka,
need
he's
something.
like, can you teach me about their anatomy? Filthy.
She grabs a handful and says, they've got these. No. No, so anyways, she says,
a large person.
Wait, did she just grab a handful of Grishka's nuts?
nothing.
I
So
like the end of the Raerin and I have just left the giant metal room and we just hear dunk.
anyways,
There's
back
no-
to the
What? That's depressing.
it's back to the game. So she says,
I
sorry.
know, right?
She back to the game. She says, they're violent, and they serve their queen loyally. They'll see you as soon as they see you as a threat, not to be bargained with, not to be quartered, but to be annihilated. Especially if you're getting so close to their queen. Unless directly ordered to collect you for a reason, they are just going to kill you. Words are not going to work. Not with the
Don't be
average.
seen.
Not with the average one. You say don't be seen, and she nods.
Looks at my 18 diplomacy.
That's a question actually. I wanted to ask. Aurorum has fought these creatures, and they reacted in a way that would have been different to a standard person fighting someone invisible. Would I have worked out that they have an equivocal to blind sense?
They don't have blind sense at all.
I know they have blind fight.
Different people have different trainings, right? So
Yeah.
the ones that you happen to fight because they were the boarding ones are actually more lithe and what's the word I'm looking for here? like dexterous, like I was sort of that's the word I was looking for, like nimble, whatever, but dexterous than others. They tend to focus more on strength. So usually they're like big brutes that are smashing things. But just they happen to be boarding ones because they knew that they would have to ferret out little concerns. So that would work better, your invisibility, on most of the other ones. Unless they had magic. So she says, so she describes, you said don't be seen, she nods. Do you say anything else? Sorry.
No, he'll just take his leave.
Yeah. So when you don't look like you're going to say anything, she says, another important thing is that they can get into your mind in a way. You fortunately didn't witness it, but they have an ability to alter where you feel as though down is. The ball that's with you helps to counter that. But unfortunately, that ball is also going to make you stand out a bit more. It slows you down. It weighs you down. You're going to have to sever that, which will make you more vulnerable to them.
Well, it has to be done.
There's a trick, but only if you have the right equipment. Do you carry with you any degree of extra-dimensional space?
I do. Yes, my bag.
Pack that you carried with you when you came aboard the ship.
The very same.
Good. When the ball is removed, if you put the ball into the pack, it'll be removed from you through different planes. If and when they ever change your mind as to what down is, it will not change the mind of the ball. You can remove it from the pack, and it'll anchor you. Its weight will bear you back down. Even if you think you're supposed to be elsewhere, it will pull you back down. This will only help if you are near enough to what it is that it thinks down is to have that still function. So act quickly. And be careful. If they tell you down is, and she gestures to the side, and then you start pulling yourself back to the ground, you could feel yourself dragging along as though you were at home and a ship started to capsize.
I understand.
Be careful. Your friend, does he have similar equipment with him?
He does not.
Well, then choose wisely who it is that carries the pack, and the other one needs to be mindful at all times of what others are trying to do to them. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What's the plan when you get there? I don't mean to the spire. I don't mean to the fallen city. I mean, if this is actually being joined with a body of extreme proportions, what's your plan when you get there? You're saying this is the corpse of a god. What do you do with the corpse of a god?
All I know is we have to find the spark, or apparently it's not dead. You think the arbiter would have told us a bit more, but that's all we got.
Well, newly born god, perhaps he doesn't know more.
He'll tap his axe and he'll say, well, that's why I follow Virgo.
She just nods to your faith, to your expression of your faith, and says, whether it be Vroga, the Arbiter, or any of the others, hopefully they smile well upon us and see us through this to the end.
To the end.
And she is going to you kind of like leave the room, and more time passes as you guys continue to plan. Any other details or anything? She mentioned she'd give you guys some potions. Any other details or anything else that you guys might want to kind kind of like think upon, focus on, blah 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 blah. In the meanwhile, or
I mean, I'd like to say to Ilen, like, really, what the fuck do we do when we get there? I don't know. Nankaro didn't tell us.
We have to find some evidence that it is alive in some way, shape, or form. That it can't have been, that it's not entirely dead. Be it at its, I don't know whether we look at its core, at its heart, or something. Or all I know is that this is a feeling I've had a lot, not knowing what to do other than just get to a place.
Well, I hope things will be made clear once we get there.
Hopefully.
The gods would have had a plan. If they're sending us, so there must be something we can do.
Indeed. I do agree. I wish we had more to go off, but maybe we'll learn more on the Spire.
I hope so.
They are the god's plan. Yeah. Well, I mean, go find an old god that's still alive in this essence of nothingness. Enjoy.
Pretty much.
But yeah. So hopefully we can. Hopefully being there will make it more obvious. But for now, we just have to find the spark. What is the core of a god?
Indeed.
If they are collecting pieces of a god for a reason, they might make it more obvious for us by simply what they're doing to it.
Well, not long now, and we'll find that out ourselves. Are you prepared?
Indeed. As I can be. I will note what Ilen has likely been doing has been trying to get as used to the way this plane works movement wise with the new boots as he can.
oh, gotcha. Unfortunately, it doesn't help with the mental aspect of it, but it does certainly help with the physical aspect of the movements,
I will
right?
say at the very least, I have more points in fly now.
More points in what?
Fly compared to last time.
That's funny. That's absolutely hilarious. All right, cool. Anything else that your characters might want to go over? Any conversations with Alorel or anything like that you'd like to do, lady and or gentleman?
I think everything's been said that needs to be said, I think.
Okay. She will at some point, as you guys eventually get the ship up and moving, and as they're working on it, making it move faster and whatnot, she will eventually actually have it set so that you can what's the word I'm looking for? She'll say, I had mentioned to you beforehand that there would be potions that we can give to you. They might not all be the same kind of recognizable that you're familiar with from back home, but I assure you that all of them will work. I even took the liberty to labeling them to make them nice and easy. You will definitely need, you'll definitely need them. One of the first things she does, she pulls out, and she actually will give it over to, I actually don't even know if Grishka can use this or not, because I don't know what his different abilities are. But she actually pulls out, I definitely know that Neil can't, because of a feat he took. She pulls out an oil, and says, I only have one of these left. I hold this dear to me. They're hard to come by. But this is an oil to put onto your axe that will make its edge a bit more keen. It'll strike your enemies a bit more true.
shit.
Oil of Keen Edge.
Wait, I can't use it and change it to a 10 to 20
Nope.
critical range.
Holy fuck.
How depressing.
At that point, it's just flip a coin for critical.
So anyways, the next thing that she would give, and she only has, again, one of these. So again, you would want to use it for whoever needs the extra defense or whatever. It's displacement. If you're not familiar, displacement makes it so people attacking you have a 50% mischance their attack rolls. So make sure you write this down. Oil of Keen Edge, Potion of Displacement. And then she actually gives to you guys, these ones are important. She says, you probably won't need these, but I'm sure you'll need them sooner than I will.
You should take the displacement, Tesh.
Are you sure? Because ideally, I won't be the one in combat.
Yeah, but if you do get in combat, then they'll just murder
That's
you.
true. Yeah. Okay. Displacement. Okay.
Sorry, carry on, Scott.
No, you're fine. She hands to you a half dozen potions of undetectable alignment. Literally makes it so they have no idea what your alignment is. They last for 24 hours each time, so they last for a considerable amount of time, which is nice. But it's just
So 2 each.
yeah, sure, that works as well. I don't think it really matters for, say, somebody like Alarel, who has no convictions.
Oh. What you're saying is Ilen needs these.
Well, anybody really could use them because he's at least potentially different than others. But either way, more or less, if you feel as though your character, disperse them however you want. 2 each is definitely fine. If you feel as though your character might be noticed for details like that, it's good to have on hand.
Okay. We can always trade them around later if needed because they're 24-hour things. So if we just all have 2 on us, so we have them if emergency comes up.
As a step up from that, she has unfortunately only 3 of these. They last, if you were like, again, if things were normal in normal material plane, they last a good number of hours. It's actually a crystal that what you do is you actually take the crystal and you kind of like focus on it for a moment to activate it. But it actually allows you to escape detection, kind of like how misdirection works, right? Meaning like spells and whatnot that are meant to find you and like your location and whatnot more than just alignment. To find you and your location would actually be thwarted or sent aside. It's kind of adds like a barrier for them to pierce through. So the way the crystal works is you kind of have it and you like focus on it to get it working, and you can take it and you place it somewhere around your body, and it'll actually kind of like orbit around that spot of your body. So if you want it to say around your wrist, it'll orbit around your wrist while it's active, or around your head, it'll orbit around your head while it's active, kind of like a moon to wherever it is in the planet that you have it to be. So they definitely give you it's 3 crystals of escape detection.
So how long do those last? And are they once off?
A good number of hours, and they each work only once.
Okay, cool.
She also gives you, she has 2 of these. They actually give you, she says that similar to the other crystals that you were just given, it's a crystal that you focus on. And again, it allows you to, instead of having it float around you, you take the crystal, you press it to your forehead, you concentrate on it, and then you actually allow it to seep itself into your forehead where it becomes a part of your head temporarily before it eventually just kind of like crumbles to ash and falls off, right? Anyways, it gives your mind a degree of protection, making it difficult for people to read and affect your mind specifically. It's a thought shield. But it'll also help to, it'll make it more difficult for somebody to, say, change your mind on things. Like, for instance, which way is down?
I should probably have
A
one.
crystal of what?
Thought shield.
Oh, all right.
Not THOTT, okay? Not THOTT.
I was
Jesus
just about to
Christ.
quote that joke.
Oh, my God.
You beat him to it.
It's
You
like,
beat him.
you be gone, thought. Like,
No, it's like
currently they have a mod. Yeah, I have the mod message for that.
oh, Jesus. Anyways. And then there's also the last one. She says looking to Grishka with like a knowing eye of the conversation she had beforehand, but says, I unfortunately only have one of these. She pulls out another final crystal and says, this is a crystal to defy gravity. Typically speaking, you can use it one of two ways. You would want to crumble it against the person it's meant to affect. Honestly, a few people could even... Sorry. You crumble against the person that you want to affect, whether it be crushing it in your hands because of how fragile it is, so be careful where it is you place it in your pack. Or to throw it against somebody else so it smashes to them. It makes it so wherever they believe down is, they move the opposite direction. Down becomes the opposite of where they believe it to be. It is very disorienting, even for somebody as talented as Alarel or others that call this place their home. It is disorienting. Like when your buddy hands you the controller to like playing Halo or something, and they fucking play with it inverted, and you're like, what monster are you? Why do you do this? Why do you live life like this? You know, like... You know what I'm talking about.
Like, inverted is weird.
It's like, why? Why do you hate yourself?
Oop, there goes gravity. But I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, so you obviously know, Grishka, that this is in reference to, like, God forbid they make you go, ah! And you're like, huh. Ah!
Yeah.
So.
Ilen?
I'm not going to be good at putting that on any, like, if you want to throw this at someone, I'm not the one to have it.
Whoa. Steve,
for you.
Absolutely do that to somebody else's controller
No,
while they're taking a piss. Absolutely. Go ahead, sir.
Jake, I won't be able to control it, so I'll just go up.
No. If you use it on yourself, if they make you go up, you'll go down. If you use it on yourself.
Oh.
Right, Scott? It's a safeguard.
It makes it so wherever you believe down is, goes the opposite. So if all of a sudden you think the ship, let's say the spire is down, and they say, no, the spire is up, go. You're like, crush. If the spire is up, I'm going back to it.
Okay. That does make sense. Okay, and I can give it to you if we want to use it against someone. So what was it called?
It's trust me, it is too valuable to use on somebody else.
That makes sense. What's it called?
Defy gravity. Think Wicked. Neil, could you sing that song for us, please?
Okay.
No.
Neil's never seen Wicked. He's an uncivilized slog.
We went to go and see Wicked once, but I wasn't very well that day, so we couldn't go and see it.
No! Oh, that's genuinely heart-wrenching.
It was like Chloe's. I got the tickets like as a present for Chloe for us to go and see it.
Oh no!
Oh, and she didn't go without you? Oh, she totally should have just been like, bye. It's my gift. Oh, listen, Chloe's too good for you. Okay, you do not agree. You do not deserve Chloe.
I am aware.
So I'm very fortunate that I went and saw Wicked back when Brittany and I were first seeing each other. We saw Rent before we were dating, before we even like smooched the first time, right? Like we saw Wicked like when we first started seeing each other, and I was very fortunate because way back in the decades past that transpired, the woman that played Alphaba was actually the understudy to what the hell is her name? What's the actress's name? Brittany, just shut up. Thank you for breakfast, love.
Oh no, you're talking about Alphaba?
Yeah.
Frozen stuff?
Yeah. What's her name? Adina Menzel. So it was actually the understudy directly to Adina Menzel. So she was amazing. She was so good. What? You touching it because your feet are cold? Yeah, walk down. We gotta lay out that leftover carpety thingy because it's cold down here. I made coffee. I made it 100% of my own volition.
I know, I heard it.
What do you mean? You heard me grinding the beans. Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? Would
I
be
made
great
him do it.
If Brittany woke up and there was coffee made for her. That'd just be so sweet for her, wouldn't it?
It Just for me.
Yeah, that's
Just
definitely what
well
it
for
was
myself
thinking.
as well, obviously.
100%.
But I wanted to make sure that you woke
If
up and
only she
had
could hear us right now.
a fresh pot of coffee waiting. I'm such a good husband.
Or at least she knew what he said
Yeah.
earlier.
It was more than fire.
Yeah, I did turn on the heat as well. So I'm a good husband. I turn on the heat in more ways than one. I make everybody uncomfortable. And she left. Oh, you got me a banana? I already had a banana. But as Neil said, I could take more than one banana. Oh, she got me avocado toast with everything bagel toppings on top.
Nice.
You can buy like a little jar of them.
We had avocado toast yesterday. It was nice. We had avocado toast with sliced boiled egg, bit of paprika, a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon juice.
I put nothing on my boiled egg. I just go,
It wasn't a boiled egg. You didn't listen.
you should
It was
slice boiled egg.
plus on top of smashed avocado.
Oh, I didn't realize
on
that you put it on
toast.
top of the toast. My apologies. Yeah.
That's why I said you didn't.
Yeah. No, well, I heard you say all the ingredients, but I don't think you said on top of.
Scott was just like, well, maybe I didn't explicitly state it was on top of.
Yeah, because I have boiled egg adjacent too. So
I've seen you eat boiled eggs, man. You think you're gassed on, don't
He's
you?
eaten them on stream before.
oh no, I don't eat them one bite.
When I was a lad, I had 4 dozen.
Weirdly,
And I'm roughly the size of a
4 foot large.
barge.
weirdly enough, I actually can't stand avocado, but not because of the taste. The texture, for some reason, I just cannot. I hate it. I loathe it.
There's multiple ways to get around that. We should get back to the game, but there's multiple ways to get around that. One, change the texture by like mashing it up and putting it on something like, say, toast, or eat them when they're slightly less ripe, or don't buy Haas avocados. Buy the South American ones. So avocados that you're probably accustomed to seeing are like about this big in size and like borderline black in color for the skin, right? There's the other one is like the bottom is about this big and the top is about this big, so it's almost pear shaped, so it looks like an oversized pear, and they're about 3 times the size. Like the seed inside them is almost the size of a Haas avocado. It has a very different taste and texture and everything to it, and it's actually really, really good. So if you can find that at whatever food market place that sells, check for those. I feel like they're called like Florida avocados or something. I don't know, but try it.
Interesting. I might do that.
Yeah, because
That'd be great if they were called Florida avocados, and the South American variant, Florida avocado.
well, we probably grow them in Florida, and so that's why I think we call them that. Whereas I don't know if Haas avocados is because that's what we call them Haas. That might just be the brand, or it might be the species. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not an avocado expert, but my cousin Miguel used to eat exclusively the ones that I just mentioned to you, Tesh, because he also did not, because like the other ones, if they, you know how like when they turn brown, they almost get like fleckled browns and like they get like lines of brown inside them. If there was even the slightest amount of brown in there, it was like the small taste change to it was like nasty. That he hated it. So he would have to get Haas like underripe where they're like hard, like clank, 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 clank hard. And you're like slicing it off of the skin off of it because you can't like peel it. Or he would just eat the other ones, which he loved so much more. But back to.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're different. Like, sorry, pear shaped is what I said, not pear size.
Yeah.
They're like
I don't know enough
much
about
larger.
avocados here because I haven't liked them before, so I haven't really.
Yeah, no, the ones that I usually see at the supermarket are pear shaped.
Oh, okay.
Can you DM me a picture or put it inside Planewalker spoiler, so I can see a
Next
picture.
time I go to the supermarket.
No, Google one. Like Google an image that's familiar to you and post it there.
No, next time you go
get
to
back
the
to the game.
supermarket.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
do it
get
for
back
after
to
the
dying
stream.
horribly.
But like, take a picture of your avocado in your supermarket, but make sure you have the toilet roll aisle in the background, because we want to see how that's faring. That that's going to really let us know what the COVID situation is like over there.
Oh, okay.
Please do the same if you're from Kiwi Land as well.
They don't even have COVID down there.
They've just have you not been paying attention to what Rosen said? They've gone back into lockdown.
Yeah, so they have 5 cases.
Yeah, back into
It's,
lockdown. Too much COVID.
I don't
What's
think
great
we
is
have any
people-
locally acquired cases in Australia at the moment.
We only
No,
have,
all
like,
of our
there
cases are people coming back in. Yeah.
Well,
Hotel
we
quarantine,
might
yeah.
we might have managed to snag ourselves a Brazilian variant of COVID. So, our prime minister right now has got like a little badge case, like Pokemon style, with all these different badges
yeah.
in as he
I
gets
like
all
how
the different
there's, like,
variants.
Yeah, these different comparisons with how Britain and or the UK and America are doing, and then there's how we're doing, and we have people protesting the lockdowns down here. Are you guys crazy? It's working. Stop.
New Zealand total cases total cases 2,384
Jesus,
with
that's so
26
depressing.
with 26 deaths. In Massachusetts, that's my state, my fleck tiny state, not my country. There has been 583,000 with 16,182 deaths. So there have been about 8 times the number of deaths in my state, or let's say 7 times the number of deaths in my state as there have been cases in all of New Zealand.
Yep, but people still here protesting the lockdowns, like saying like no,
People
it's
protest the lockdowns everywhere. Like
Texas is about to open up completely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Oh
I was actually gonna
God.
say. I saw a tweet saying that, like, was it? I don't know. I guess it was a Texas senator.
Governor.
fucking terrifying.
He said, like, I've assured us all freedom, and basically, all lockdowns have been ended, and mask wearing is now no longer mandatory.
So what you've done is assured you're going to kill people.
I think it's really confusing when you actually look at the like numbers of deaths. You gotta wonder what not the masses, because the masses like are commonly wrong on things, right? And we expect them to be wrong. But I wonder what the politicians are thinking, who are supposed to be the informed, responsible people.
Hold on. Before you answer that question, the reason why power went down in Texas is because the turbines froze on the windmills, which are what 12% of the entire state's power. So it's clearly their fault. Why everybody froze. And not only do you go to Cancun with your family while your constituents are dying, you make jokes about it a week and a half later at a conference. That's what Texas politicians are thinking.
And the reason why the windmills froze is because you didn't weatherize them properly. Because green energy exists in cold places.
Yeah, we've all watched Iron Man. You gotta like do a gold alloy if things are freezing up. Come on, even I know this.
A superconductor. That makes sense. So anyways,
let's launch this ship.
wow, Jake, do you want me to look up Australia's numbers to make you feel better?
You can, because if we're going to segue again, I'm just saying, Steve's right. People, the weird thing is people keep, even here, in the news often is people trying to escape hotel quarantine. Like trying to run outdoors, like dodge past security to like escape their hotel quarantine.
Why?
Because
I don't know.
Dumb.
A few of them get out, and then they're like picked up later in the day, or
It's like
the next day or something.
It's
and it's
14
like,
days.
But okay,
Yeah.
Just
and
to
there's-
end this whole political discussion, I just because Snug has mentioned it, we can't carry it on in chat because Scott actually needs to like make us do stuff. But
Alexandra
AOC
Ocasio-Cortez.
The AOC seems like a really good, like, politician who's trying to be a good person and fight for like good important things for the people, not the rich people. Please put your opinions in the Discord.
Oh God.
No, AOC is pretty amazing. She just misses the mark. Sometimes it's like, okay, you didn't have to use that much attitude or that much tone. Why don't you scale down?
She's clearly extremely
honey and vinegar,
passionate.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, like her passion, most of the time I appreciate it. Sometimes I'm like, you don't open a conversation with a flamethrower. Like you open it with kindness and then move to the flamethrower as needed. But she sometimes, not all the time, sometimes she just opens with a flamethrower. And it's just like, and don't get me wrong, I understand with some representatives you have to do that, right? Mm-hmm. But there are some times where she just opens that way and you're like, whoa, that like this was not the scenario for that. That's crazy. And I follow her pretty closely. I love her. I think she's wonderful. And I think she has a president. I think in 8 years she will run for president. So
Yeah. one last thing to add to the whole like 14 days. They can't stand 14 days. Victoria recently were like, we're gonna have a 5-day lockdown, and they freaked the fuck out over 5 days, let alone 14 days.
Dude, did you see the fucking WA Premier said after COVID's finished, he wants to keep the border controls in place and monitor who comes into that state?
No, I didn't see that.
Yep, it was
it
fucking insane.
The leaders of your states are called premiers. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are they called
Yep.
premiers? I mean, we call our governors. That's also a weird word. So, governor. So, we used to call them presidents back in the day, but we got rid of that. So, anyways, so
Wait, no. Didn't you try to get rid of that and it didn't work?
no, we used to call the state's executive branch.
Yeah, it was a joke about impeachment.
Oh, sorry. I haven't looked into it. I wonder
But
if Obama's gonna get
just like
impeached.
impeachment, it failed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
Back to launching the ship.
Yeah. All right. So, back to ship. Where were we? Oh, the potions. You guys are handed several potions and some crystals to assist you in your cause. And the last thing she gave you, and she actually will give you 4 potions of cure critical wounds.
Whoa.
I really wish that she'd just gone ahead and just like, here's a bomb of nuking. You know, like, wouldn't that be really useful right now?
Okay.
Like, you know, like a goblin skull bomb, but it's a really big goblin. It's that goblin that Jake ran into that tried to get him to do something or other. The god goblin. I'm sorry, I'm a wavy ship right now. I need to be put back on course.
So I think with these, since there's 4 of them, one of you two should take 2, because you guys may need it if I go unconscious, whereas I will take 1 for emergencies, but otherwise I have many other ways of healing you guys.
Well, we should probably have 1 each, and Jake should have 2.
Okay, that works.
Because the likelihood is I'm going to be invisible a lot more. So, cure critical, yeah.
So Jake, you get 2, and we get 1.
Was there anything else that I should have out of that loot?
So you should have 1 thought shield, wasn't it?
You're the only one with the thought shield.
No, I'm the only one.
No, you're the only one with
No,
the
I'm the one
Me
with
and you
defying
have
gravity.
Yeah,
I'm the
me.
one
There
with
was
defying
2
gravity.
thought shields, and me and you have the thought shields because that Raerin can
That's
not
right, yes.
Raerin. Alarin
But-
can change his
You
gravity.
do have a crystal of the what, undetection or whatever it was. I don't know the name of it. but
Non-detection or something like
non-detection. Yeah.
that.
2 portions of undetectable alignment that we can shuffle
Which
around.
those undetectable alignments should go to you anyway, because Alar's alignment is neutral.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we'll just have them. Both of us have 3 then. And
And the non-detection one, let's
that's right.
have
I have
it. Was it
potions
non-detection,
of
Scott? Just to, I know you're eating. Sorry.
No, you're
crystal
fine.
of
It was called non-detection is fine to write. That's not actually what it was called. But you can write
Gate
non-detection.
detection, was it?
I'll find the name again. Give me a minute.
Because I'm looking it up to like see what it does.
Don't worry. I know exactly what it does. It makes it so that they have to make additional checks. So it's not on your side. They have to make additional checks to be able to utilize abilities that would otherwise, kind of like divination spells. To have any divination spell locate you. So.
Well, my only thinking on that one is, it could be useful on Alarel, who is likely to be invisible or in stealth a lot, to make it more difficult to detect him. Alternatively, that might just be doubling up, and it would be better to have it on Ilen, who is
I think
arguably
we
the most
just get
vulnerable.
a crystal of non-detection.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
we
what I
all
thought
got
as
one.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, what's this cache of items that we've suddenly been given? Cue boss music.
What? So. Oh, I tried to open my banana and I.
Oh, wow.
You failed,
That's
Scott.
almost impressive.
Oh, hey, on stream is really funny. It looks like my banana's rotten.
Wait.
You are a failure.
Just take the
You
top
are
off.
a failure.
Just take the top off.
Why do you suck at all of life?
Just take the top. Scott.
Grrr.
Right, now take the longer bit. Turn it the other way up. Jesus. Right, okay, so seeing as
Oh, it
Scott's
looks
now
terrible
diving.
on stream.
I ate a kiwi with the skin on the other day.
You can. Just clean it well.
Yeah. Because you can. So I did. I tried it because I was like, this guy's kind of not ripe. So like spooning it out is going to be really difficult. So I didn't bother. So I just ate it, skin and all, and it was an interesting experience.
If I eat it with the skin on, I slice it into like the way you would slice a cucumber first. Did you slice it or just like
No, I just ate it like an apple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, never mind.
Time.
All right, so back to the game. Let's so she gave you all these things, including the 4 potions of cure critical wounds. I don't know how you guys choose to hand those out. I imagine at least one goes to
We've
Ilen.
discussed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've discussed that. The thing we need to figure out is what we're doing with the dust that makes us invisible. Because we have to use 4 for the approach, but are we going to be able to finagle it so we can use less of that on the approach?
Right, so we're going to have to use 4 for the approach, and then
At
you're
least for
going
the
to
ship.
then you're going to have to use 1.
Yeah.
I'm also going to have to use one. I'm out a second level spells.
You'll have to
Okay,
use
so-
1, and I would ideally also use 1 to save key.
If we can't get enough spare that we're going to end up having another full round of invisibles, I'd say let's just use it to save as much as possible going in. So it's going to have
what I'm
to
thinking is
be
we've
everyone.
got 8 doses, so 4, and then the 3 of us.
And then the driver, the pilot.
Did we accept a helmsman?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the one thing about the pilot that you don't have to worry about so much is getting to the actual plan. Part of the plan is that there's a concern is that if you were to just bring this thing and crash it onto the actual spire itself, if they were paying attention, which they very well might not be, because the spire is a huge area. It's massive, like a bunch of buildings, whatnot I described out to it beforehand. It's a small city. Granted, very small, just built up very well. If we were to crash that thing and somebody happened to be nearby or noticed it, well, that could bring attention of the entire freaking ship that this thing's linked to, all the way across to you guys. Now that ship itself, to be clear, if this is the spire and you guys are just like a little bit of like a crumb on the spire, like almost like a poppy seed, moving around on the spire for the idea of scale, right? The ship that's pulling it isn't like bigger than the hands. The ship that's pulling it is a bit smaller. So to put that into a degree of perspective, you have to imagine like Titanic in size. So you can imagine the ship is almost like this this bit of plastic that I have here. That would be kind of like pulling it along. So it's definitely smaller. So if you imagine if you just kind of like fanned it out adjacent to one another, it's maybe half the surface area. But whereas the hand isn't going to be particularly thick, the ship will be wider. Just so you guys kind of understand. So volume wouldn't be half, even if along that primary surface area, it would be about half there. Either way. So if you guys were to crash the thing in and they noticed it, they can kind of converge on your point and wipe you out easily. So the plan is actually not just to have this thing launch there and crash. It's to launch and get you guys close enough that you can jump off of it and land on the spire yourself.
In that case, the driver may be the luckiest person. They're the one that might make it out of this.
Those boots are looking more like what we should have taken.
Well, you don't jump for the sake of you jump for the sake of that is down. Ah!
Well, you say that.
Mm.
By the way, Scott, you know how before you were like these boots will give you like all in all a +9 to acrobatics. I'm on a 2 now.
I'm glad. By the way, Winifred's wisdom to Jake, Daddy of the Barren Lands.
Oh, my boy Sel, thank you very much.
I like how you know
Damn.
from that.
Well, that is
Okay.
his daddy. Well, I mean, to be fair, though, Monday night stream was supposed to be 4 dads, all dads of daughters. Jake has a son, too. But Sel ruined it for us. So,
Okay, so that's a pretty good plan, to be honest. That's better than crashing it into it. But that does still mean won't the pilot still have to get dusted?
no, because once the thing is set, the pilot can actually go tuck and hide.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, of
Be like,
course.
the course is set. I'm done here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
All right.
There. So we'll have one use of it spare for emergencies.
Well, actually, I could tuck and hide.
Oh!
Alarel is gifted. He can actually assume the shape of a fox. It's probably why he's lived so long.
I love the idea of, okay, we're going to jump now. Grishka just grabs the fox.
I mean,
Which obviously is small.
I don't know if the fox enjoys being grabbed like that. I mean, what would the fox say?
Oh, no.
Moving on from that very quickly.
You know, sometimes I think I'm really funny. And then I realize, wait, no, it's just because I'm being juxtaposed to Scott.
That's me at work. I'm like, sometimes I think I'm funny, and then I realize I'm surrounded by a bunch of boomers, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Okay, so, in that case, that you can still jump off and do the jumpy thing yourself then in your fox shape, right? Does that give you disadvantages?
No.
Okay, perfect. Then
I just don't have opposable thumbs. That's it.
I mean, you said that, and the first thing I imagined was just Cliff Fox. I don't know why. That's just popped into my head immediately.
Wait, and instead it's like Ilen like flying towards the cliff, and he like puts his hands up, and his opposable thumbs come forward, and he hits the cliff, and there's just slow mo. His thumbs just shatter.
I don't know why that equaled to me that you would fail the jump. It was just the first, literally instantly popped into my head. Okay, anyway,
To
continue.
be clear, this is why that is not my buddy Nick. So,
Wow.
Okay, so we could save two uses of it,
Chloe
For
Scott says
emergencies.
you're too good for me.
which is good because then that means if you can still use a key point for invisibility at some stage, if emergency happens and we have to all be invisible, we can be.
yeah, because Jake's just gonna tuck you in his sweater, like
I get a
a
plus
mom does
10
with their small dog. It's like,
I get a plus 10 racial bonus on disguise checks made to appear as a fox. So like if Yankee does spot me, I'll just be like,
What's that fox doing here?
and then it eats you.
not if I eat it first.
Ooh. All right, let's keep going.
1d3 bite.
So the percentage chance of this succeeding is actually pretty good because you actually have so there's a target number that needs to be hit for this to be successful. But because of the previous plan and the math and everything that's involved, actually the pilot has a really good chance of this happening with what's her name, with the captain. So the captain is going to set the course, but it has the math has done it so well that it actually rolls with advantage. We'll get to how that's done in a second. And then the pilots, because she's actually giving you her second best helmsman, she's going to need the best one for running away.
Trying not to die instantly.
The second best helmsman, is actually going to be able to give you, as opposed to Tesh needing to roll, they automatically get advantage on course correction. So what this means is that for the actual launch itself, Neil is going to pick 2 people in chat to roll a D100 and keep the better of the 2. And then, for the sake of the course correction, Jake is going to pick 2 people in chat to roll a D20 for the course correction, and we'll keep the better 2. The better of the two. So Neil, you need to roll the two. Click the two people. Select the two people that are going to roll a D100.
No, Steve, he said it couldn't course correct like a normal ship. Like you can aim it a little bit, you can't right turn.
They're like the helmsman's actually out front of it with like one of those scrubby sticks, like a on the space.
I like that a lot, actually.
The way this kind of course correction would happen in small amounts is literally a matter of the thing has the tentacles in the back of it and the arrowhead in the front. It's a matter of changing that ever so slightly to allow it, because it doesn't take the sails. It doesn't like collect, like ride the winds the way a typical ship does. This actually gathers winds over time and then does like much like a jet, just like launches straight forward from there. So it's almost like a Batman's car from the 1990s. Forward. And so it can ever so slightly change. It's very, very, very minor.
I bet he just heard me go, and it just confused him so much.
That must have been a very low-hanging Cessna.
You know how Scott's kind of like a cat. I love how he's not gonna walk upstairs.
He's gonna
check like whether his house
really,
is gone.
really, really low plane, or did a helicopter go by? Because that was insanely loud in the basement with my headphones on and Neil being as loud as Neil is.
Do you guys notice that I shaved my beard off?
I mean, there's an airfield a few towns over, but that was like I think they're gonna crash low-sounding plane. Like, that was scary low-sounding. All right, back to the. Could you guys hear that on stream?
I didn't. I wasn't sure though.
Not at all.
No.
Oh.
We all thought it was me going, and you being like a
we
cat
thought you were
and
reacting
going,
to that. Yeah.
No, it was as it went by. Like,
I really want someone to be able to clip that just without context.
every time you say that, Steve clips you saying that without context.
I know. He's so cruel. He's so cruel to me. And on that note, I'm going to pick Sil and Anno as the last two people to speak for my roles.
Okay, cool. So we need those two to roll their D100s. And it's actually supposed to be a D10, not a D20, Jake, that you're picking for. I have to actually add that command because we don't actually have that command in there yet because I'm a bad person. I'm a naughty
37.
boy. Copy.
Oof. Well, we don't know if we want low or high.
Oh, you know what you want.
Yeah. Okay, we want high.
Okay, roll a 100, Anno.
1 second.
Did Anno say nope? Oh no, he's saying no to the sound.
Do your part for the stream.
You guys know you should have chosen Viking, right?
That's pretty
Viking
good.
Comes through every time.
That works.
68. It was nearly a 69.
That's always just like cruel, leaving it one off. Yeah.
So that is a 68, and what was the other one? A 37.
37.
So clearly we're going with that one.
And what was it? Never mind.
Oh, that was rolling with advantage. We were taking the higher.
Yeah.
All
Thank God. Well, Sil, you failed us. You can go to sleep.
Jake, if you could pick our two D10s.
Oh, I'm picking my boy Viking.
All right.
That was one of them.
Awesome.
And mother boy Joey.
I didn't know if you were going to try to see if Dead Aussie was still here.
Oh, I'm showing. I've got to show Joey some love.
Viking, you fail all of us. Hey, gets us to 69 though. Viking's like 69, give it us 69.
Everything rests on Joey at this point.
Yeah. Okay, that's better. I'll take it's above average.
75,
that's
74?
6 is precisely average, actually, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Well,
Wait.
5.5 is precisely average, right?
Oh.
Wait. You're not 5'5", Scott. You're less.
I'm
right?
5'11".
Sure.
Anyway.
I can't wait. One day we'll have a picture of us next to each other.
Yes.
And I'll have to start telling
And right
everyone
as the
that
picture starts, I'll punch you in the stomach so that you keel over. You know,
Right, once we have the picture that, I'll have to start telling everyone I'm 5'2". So.
Okay.
all right, so continue. It sucks things like all pictures are me with tall people. Like I'm like, oh, it's a picture of me and my brothers. They're freakishly tall. Like, anyways, so where were we? Oh, so yeah, with a 74 with your roll, would you guys like to luck that?
A D4
Yes.
luck.
Yeah.
But no.
We might get. Honestly, he might have put 75 as a like threshold.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know I do tiered thresholds. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, if,
Yeah.
If
All
we're
right.
lucky-
All right. I agree. 75 is a nice threshold.
I go. Nobody's nice enough to fortune's favor this
I'll hit it.
We're like the only campaign that doesn't get Fortune's favors.
anymore. Yeah, and nobody likes you. All right, so that gets you
It
to.
took us out of the deer. We were kings.
You were chosen by each other. I choose me.
Sorry, what was the name
good
of the
enough.
campaign?
What?
What was the name of the campaign?
Planewalker? Aurorum?
Chosen maker.
Fuck you.
All right, how's it go? I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, with being in the top quarter, so actually that 76 mark that you get to is really good because it gets you the top quarter. 75 actually did not get in the top quarter, so ruling a 3 was beneficial. Ilen, yay. So get you that top 6 mark. Sorry, the top quarter. It's not the top 10, but it's a really good result. So as it finally gets to the point where she's speeding along and doing her thing, and finally she's like, "Now's the time. Launch!" And oh, by the way, Jake, she lets you keep her spyglass.
Oh, okay.
Do you write a number on it?
Yeah. So or I should say, you guys don't speak it again. So it's one of those things where you're sitting there and you like check your coat pocket like a week later and you're like, "Oh, I never gave that back." Ooh.
Oops.
She didn't ask for it. She had a chance.
Yeah. So yeah, and she's gets launch, and the thing starts careening at extremes. Like you guys know that the ship moves fast, even though you can't feel it. You've come to discover, and Alrel knows, the ship moves very fast. You guys typically travel on. This thing rockets. I almost said rockets off that ahead of that at extreme speeds that actually make all of you, including Alrel, probably more Alrel because they at least have ignorance as a guard, very, very uneasy. Yes, sir.
So just before we launch, this is also just me not knowing how this works. It's a cantrip, can I give everyone guidance?
That lasts only a minute.
Yeah, but what's a
okay.
minute?
If you want to do it right before you guys jump, you're saying?
Oh, I didn't know how long the zoomy zoom was going to be. So
A period of time that is not trackable.
okay, well I guess
know
I'll give
what
it to
isn't
myself then
trackable?
before I jump.
A minute.
Yeah, I'll do the same to me. I have guidance as well.
Cool. So each of you cast guidance, and then you each place a hand on Alrel, and you both cast guidance on Alrel as well. It doesn't stack, but it makes him feel loved. So
Aw.
We just didn't communicate beforehand, so we both think we're
Stop
being
petting the
smart.
fox, guys. What the hell?
you know what really happens is I was gonna say what really happens is Grishka casts guidance, and Ilen is just like, "Nyeh." All right. He's giving those booty scratches. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And Alrel's like, "I know what you're talking about."
He's like goes to bite. Like, no, I don't. But I do like. But I don't.
And from this thing, you guys end up rocketing off of it and careening over towards the spire as quickly as you can. Now, when you first rocket off, you guys can't see the spire with the naked eye. It's too far, and you might be able to with the spyglass, whatever, but it's too far. And then, Jake, you spot it. You see it obviously with the glass, and even when you pull it away, you can see it coming up.
Dust time?
No,
Dust
not yet.
time?
Not yet. Oh yes, dust time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
where-
each of
where-
you
where-
quickly grabs a fistful of the dust. All 4 of you quickly grab a fistful of the dust and start throwing it and spilling it everywhere. And
I don't
finally,
have a fist.
well, before you transform, right? So I imagine actually they haven't seen you transform into this yet. They're not aware of it, right?
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's
so,
about
'cause,
to happen.
yeah, we're about to do that RP in a moment. So you each grab a fistful and you just kind of like throw sprinkling about here and there, and you're like, I don't know if any of you guys are this way, but it's like when you're salting your sidewalk. I'm one of those people that, again, I'm a dad. I'm like, not that much salt. Like you can sprinkle it like this. You can cover more surface. Use less salt. It's just, Anyways, so
Don't be so salty about it, Scott.
very salty about it. So you guys sprinkle it about and get the entire ship to turn invisible. Finally, the helmsman stands and he can touch any part of the ship. It's not like there's a specific actual helm to wheel to turn. So he grabs a part of the ship. He kind of concentrates, shifts the course slightly, and then he says, "This is my cue. You should probably prepare to jump soon. We're going to start passing by the intersection of their path, so that I will overshoot them by far and a good bit away. Just plan well. Maybe jump before the intersection truly passes, because you want to be able to have some of the momentum to pull you in as well." And he goes and looks about and says, "Godspeed," and then goes and climbs into his cubbyhole.
And cries.
I would
His
make sure to
cubbyhole.
thank him, like his cubbyhole. So, thank you, like in proper, the hand on shoulder thank you thing, and then get ready.
Okay. You guys wait until the thing is about to. So again, it's almost like if you imagine one is going this way, the other's going to shoot across like this to try to, or further back, but shoot across so it overshoots it and can't be noticed or whatever. And then right before the actual intersection of its path, so right about here, is where you're going to jump. So your characters are going to start going up towards it, from behind. So very quickly, each of you are going to make sure that you have a fistful of powder in your hands. You're not going to use it yet. You have a fistful of powder in your hands, the 2 of you, and get ready for the jump. And you guys, I imagine you hold the bag out for Alarel to take a fistful. And this is when Alarel... ...
Oh, he'd probably warn you. He'd say, I said my people were hunted. There's a reason I've lasted so long. And then
Before you
A good
see him
neighbor
sort
safe
of
from us here.
his back sort of hulks out a different. This time his clothes molt with him, but he begins to shrink and swirl until the color of his hair is the only color you can see for a moment, and there's a fox there.
Huh.
It's like a little golden fox, and he you can see the intelligence in the eyes as he would regard the 2 of you.
Okay.
We've seen weirder shit.
Yeah, that works. Dust.
So you guys see that transform? It's like, huh? And then you dust. It's like what's that GIF? Oh, yeah, sure. I was thinking the GIF where the guy's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, so you guys dust and then jump. Now this is a very important jump. It is a wisdom check. I've told you this beforehand. A DC 16 allows you to choose what is down. A DC 21 allows you to choose the strength of your approach. Now, to be clear, this thing that you're choosing down towards is moving at high speeds. So you might be thinking, oh, I want a soft approach. Not really. You want to get to it before you worry about soft. So the reason why I'm saying this is DC 21 allows you to choose a nice heavy approach on the way down to catch up to it at a decent speed. But a seconds check, which by the way, it's 21 for both, right? A second check of a DC 16 will allow you to slow that down so you don't smash hard. So you've been making 2 checks here, one preferably a DC 21 and one preferably a DC 16.
It's a high fucking DC.
You're
for
literally
a
asking
wisdom
for
check.
nat 20 from me.
This is a wisdom check. You do have luck, and at least Jake Daddy of the Barren Lands has Winifred's wisdom. So why don't we actually
You're
have?
telling me literally I need a nat 20.
Why don't we have Jake Daddy use do it first because he has the best chance out of everyone here.
Why are you
I mean,
saying
I'll
it
be
like
honest,
that?
I'm not
I
gonna
feel like
make
you're
this.
cursing me.
I'm not gonna make this.
A community curse?
You're gonna see a fox go
All right, I'm
off into
rolling.
space.
Oh god.
Ooh. Okay, and
Plus
don't forget,
5.
don't. Where's the 5 come? Oh, hold on.
My Winifred's.
Don't forget, you actually made this check. Wait, that's not a saving throw, so never mind. I was gonna say you're next to allies, but never mind. So plus 5 equals a 23. You choose a nice hardy approach, a nice heavy approach, obviously, and start careening in the correct direction. Now, the hand is being dragged like this by the ship on the other side of it, right? I imagine you choose somewhere around the knuckle of the thumb to land, somewhere like the most outermost point where they probably won't be paying as much attention because the few that are out there are going to be more focused on where the anchors are going to be coming out, because who is dumb enough to catch on to this thing, right? So actually have it anchored to the various digits that are on
I think
there.
what Scott's asking is, would you like a finger or a thumb?
Actually, no, my apologies. It's the other way around. The thing is actually being anchored by that because this would be stronger for like land. So it's actually being pulled like this. So you guys would be choosing. Funny enough.
Finger
a thumb. Yeah. So would you be choosing like the index finger, the thumb, or elsewhere? Would you be choosing as the thing is crossing paths?
I don't know, the closest point where it looks
That'd be the
like
index
there's enough
finger.
room to do so.
That'd be the index finger. Slightly curled. You know what I mean? But the index finger would be the closest. Yep, absolutely. So you would
Yes,
choose.
that'd be the one.
You would choose that, and you were good to go. You were easily making your approach. We're gonna have you hold for your second check in a moment. Okay?
Gotta see these two die first.
I don't, dude. This is intense.
I want Neil to go second because Neil, it's very easy for you. What do you do?
It's very easy for me. It's not a wisdom check.
Nope, it's not, is it? You just kind of.
Thank God. It's an acrobatics.
Oh fuck!
You ever seen a flying fox? They're bats. They're not foxes. This doesn't look like that. It's a fox. It falls.
So you actually don't need to roll an acrobatics check unless Jake really screws up. In which case you'll use acrobatics to make things better for you. But Jake is you're linked to him, so you're already done.
Wait, you mean Ilen?
Is Ilen the one that's holding you?
Oh, no. Okay, cool. That's fine. Whatever.
I honestly thought it was Grishka holding you, but I don't know. Did we?
I don't know. I didn't consent to being held, so.
You were asked.
He's doing really well. Let it happen.
I'm sorry. Just you know, I got confused. The joke earlier about Jake just kind of picking up the fox and jumping.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So no, you would just do this yourself then. In which case, you don't need to make your acrobatics yet. You just automatically drop it to the strength that you want, and we'll do the acrobatics later on, like you described.
Oh yeah, you.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Ilen, it's your turn.
No, I missed that bit. I'm too busy memeing all the time.
And
Oh God, am I become messy?
Tesh, are you ready to roll, sir?
Yeah, I'm ready to fail miserably.
Can I tell you something
What?
about Winifred's wisdom?
Do I have one?
No. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, you're a dick.
That was just mean.
You absolute twat.
Actually,
Okay.
you got one earlier, remember, and it was used up. Right? At the beginning of stream? No, am I crazy?
Do you mean Jake got
I've
one
gotten
earlier?
2 this stream.
Oh, you got two, that's fine.
Can you not tell them apart even after all this time, Scott?
Oh, that was almost. Oh,
Ooh, that's actually really good. It's in range to automatically to succeed both.
no! Are you fucking kidding me? No, guidance!
Hey, you had guidance!
I said I had
I
guidance!
forgot about that. You had guidance. So did I. Oh,
We're gonna
Oh, I'm so glad I said that earlier.
I just imagine Viking sits by his screen when Ilen has these like really miraculous successes despite all odds. He just sits there and he's like chanting to himself, "True blue, true blue, true blue."
Oh,
Is that why? Is that it? That's why he's like he like cracks open his what is it, Victoria Bitter, whatever you guys don't drink, but it's the meme Australian drink, like chug it and then scream "True blue."
I just want to like. I wish I could have a T-shirt that showed like a little chibi version of Raerin just like off to the side, looking like upset and dejected by himself, and like you had Ilen, Valorin, and Grishka all off to the side chanting "True Blue." Like, like that'd be an amazing image. All right. Anyways, so I unfortunately I have no artistic talent whatsoever. Back to the game. Jake, this is actually only a DC 16. It's significantly easier for you to slow down your approach to make sure that you don't go smash. You want to go ahead and roll that for me, followed by your acrobatics?
You muted.
I'm not.
Now you're not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you moved your mouth before, unless you were trolling me. Oh no! I got. Why did you have to roll wisdom twice?
Oh, to slow down the approach, because you wanted to catch up, so you wanted to slow down.
Oh.
True, blue, true.
it's okay. You can join me in the smashing our faces against the thing, the index finger.
Lucky there's not crit fails though.
That's
It's
okay.
fine. It's fine. I'm coming in hot. I'm gonna save you, baby.
You still hit maximum velocity. It's okay. So, Jake, first I need you to roll me your acrobatics check. Or actually, don't yet. Tesh, go ahead and roll me your wisdom check again, sir.
Okay.
And you've, of course, already used your guidance.
Ooh!
Thank
Holy
you.
shit!
Jake, go ahead, and Tesh, go ahead and roll me your acrobatics, gentlemen.
And this is with +5 from the boots.
Y-
Oh, actually, no. I haven't added in the +5 from the boots. So this will.
Jesus
Wait.
Christ, Jake.
Oh, I did. Yeah, what did he roll badly? Now it's the +5 from the boot. Oh no. Okay. Well, I mean,
Are you happy with your result there, sir, or do you want to try to modify that to any degree?
it's like Val. Wow. You know what? The less healing I have to use on myself, the more healing I can use at Jake. He's probably gonna need it. Come on, get over to. Oh, never mind.
Neil, could you go ahead and roll me Alarel's acrobatics check?
My DC is halved. Just as a ninja mechanic, FYI.
Okay.
Fucking yeah, cause you need it.
And
It works really well with Scott's degrees of success that the DC is halved.
and Neil,
Casually
because you
60.
succeeded so incredibly well, I actually want you to go ahead and do me a favor and roll me a I know this isn't the best for you, and I do apologize for that. A strength check. This is actually sorry, no, my apologies. Yeah, athletics not a thing. So a strength check because you're going to try to save Grishka to some degree because he was the one carrying you.
I love the idea of the little fox flying in to try and save him. Oh, yeah, okay.
Rolled a 2.
Jake, I'm sorry. I was really hoping to have him slow you down, but
Do you guys remember when I used to roll well? I don't remember it anymore. I'm like Frodo at the end of Lord of the Rings.
you're going to be hitting this thing at terminal velocity. Do you know what terminal velocity means?
It means you can't speed up anymore.
Do you know what it means mechanically for the sake of damage?
What does it mean?
66.
It technically
10d6.
means 20d6.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, hey,
Ah,
Anno.
well.
Hang on a second, Anno.
Oh!
What was that? What the hell was that? Whoa. I'm gonna go
I
disable this
understand,
double-
comrade.
Da.
Do I have anything that can save him?
Jesus.
Okay. I was trying to. Yep, there goes gravity.
I would
Imagine
also
going
say
out like
you
Valorant.
still both have lifelink on them, just so you know, because now I never dismissed it, and it's within 100 and something feet.
Average is not 60 for 20d6. Oh yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's 60. It's 60. Yeah. Are you ready for this, sir? Okay. There you go.
What's Scott? Roll all ones.
No.
/R. I'm not gonna do it mean and like roll 1d6 at a time by making everybody in chat take turns rolling 1d6.
Or
I'm not
to
gonna do
scream-
that.
Scream Phaedral.
I'm not gonna do
I
that.
tell you, I'm glad I saved Breath of Life.
If you rolled it
Is
now,
this-
it'd be too late. What? Okay.
I'm up.
Holy shit!
Okay.
Precisely one over
Good
average.
news and bad news.
Good news is I seen the screen a second ago, and my boy remembered. He remembered his promise.
I came after my roll.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
That'll have to be something even better then.
Fortune's favors of reverse death before. Precedent has been set.
Hold on one second. The bad news is when you take 60 points of damage from one blow, in this case it's an impact, it triggers something called death from massive damage.
Does it though?
Yes, with a fortitude save to save from. It's actually not crazy. It's only a DC 15 fortitude save, and you have the Kitsune with you, which gives you a +1 to that.
The other thing that is, at least, I think, if you do fail, Breath of Life only brings you back if you didn't take a certain amount of damage over.
And
this would
that
trigger
didn't, yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. So it's a 20 total. So you actually smash the ground hard and you get fucked up. But you are safe. I saw it coming afterwards as well, and I'll have that take a very different and very fun effect. Okay? But you come smashing in. I can only
just
say what I'm
realized-
like oof. In the
I just
car.
realized he's invisible.
Oh, I know. Did you get the door
Super
open, by the way?
bloody.
I seen you couldn't get it open before.
I don't know what you're referring to. So, you come smashing in. Unfortunately, you crash into this place, whereas each of them are able to smash down and land themselves into. What's his face there? Ilen, with his acrobatics, is actually able to gracefully land, just trying to like be down because of everything he's kind of gone through. He lands on the top of one of the buildings that are a few stories tall, right? And so it's like one of those, I'm sure I can find a way down from here, whether it be rappelling with a rope or finding a door off of the roof or whatever it might be. He can make his way down. So he comfortably lands on a roof, doesn't hurt himself, doesn't sprain an ankle, anything. He touches down kind of hard, but it's one of those, ugh, and then immediately drops to the ground to make sure that nobody can see him in case he doesn't know how much time is left on the invisibility or anything like that. Just being cautious. You have Aurorum, it kind of like tumbles, lands, grabs at you. He's like, fuck, jumps down, lands in a lower spot, tries to grab you, shit, jumps down, tries to grab at you. And it's like one of those things where you're like, you kind of classing. Ugh.
Turns out,
Fox can't really grab him very
who
easily.
knew having no opposable thumbs would fuck me now?
He transformed back in time for this, of course. So trying to grab you and unfortunately wasn't able to stop you. You know what I mean? He was not able to stop you. You come smashing into the ground, actually smashing into that market area we saw beforehand, right? You come smashing into it and hit the ground so hard with that ridiculous amount of damage, you actually end up knocking through the ground, so into the finger, knocking through the ground, which would be effectively like layers of skin, and into a cavity beneath. There, maybe this place was hollowed out beforehand, whatever it was, but you end up smashing down and crash.
Blood vessel.
Crashing into a whole different like cavernous area after you've done kind of like catching your breath and the smoke settles and of everything that's here, and you're able to see you actually notice that there's a cavern inside here. There's actually a pathway that you could potentially walk through that's inside here. You don't actually know where it leads or anything like that, and it's kind of tight. It's not like it's a big open area that you're like, I could just go running through here. It's kind of tight, but you actually go crashing into a cavern and get exactly bloody Australians, capillaries. So crashing in and finding it. But more importantly, I'll allow you to roll this before we end the stream today, a perception check for me, sir, as you're kind of like picking yourself up and clearing the stuff off and so on.
Anno, drop that FF to save you while driving.
Luck.
Very appreciated. I am gonna luck this because if we got any left, fuck, I wanted a 20.
Man, you get so much red.
That is, wow.
You noticed that the market spot that you had crashed into, the supplies of whatever that market was, had crashed down with you. You know what I mean? You kind of like smashed into that and it kind of like all collapsed around you. It's mixed in with the rubble and everything that's there. So, I mean, you don't know if there's anything valuable there, but you definitely noticed like it was exactly that marketplace that you focused on beforehand. Maybe your mind just instinctively went there and that's why, but you had to smash onto that right there. And that's kind of like, well, what's kind of littered about the ground around you. But you definitely found a cavern that seems to stretch into the hand, and who knows exactly how far it goes or what might be within there. But favor seems to smile upon you, fortunately, for you to find this cavern that allow you to walk within the spire as opposed to on the surface of it. And I think that is going to have to be where we end the stream. I actually go to work a little bit later today, but I'm going to take the additional time that I have to actually like see my daughter for a bit before I go into work, because I worked, like I said, 30 hours the past two. Well, granted, some of those were stream time. Work-wise, it was 24 hours in the past 2 days, on Monday and Tuesday. So I get to go in a bit later today before my stream tonight. So we were spending a little bit of time with my daughter. Probably after we hang out a little bit, she'll want to like play with toys, and I'll grab a laptop and start taking care of other stuff. So, because I have to really get to Norway and Joey and Anno and Steve. All right, cool.
You need to beg Norway to come back.
No, I need to supply stuff for them. So, cool. I'm going to end it here with you crashing in. And as for finding one another, don't worry about it. They're easily going to be able to find where the crash happened. And don't worry, nobody was on that spire or anywhere about it to notice what had transpired.
Good.
Nice.
Let us end here. Does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about, Tej?
Hi. I'm actually follow me on the Test Tube on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I'm actually just about to upload a stream I did last week, which if you like watching people get the ever-loving shit scared out of them with like proper like jump scares, I'm uploading Devour onto YouTube soon, and that genuinely is, it's not the most terrifying game in terms of ambience, but the jump scares in this game fucking get you. So if you enjoy watching that, also Phasmophobia. And otherwise, follow my Twitch, because Monster Hunter Rise is coming out soon. I'm going to play that a lot. Like a lot.
You saying Phasmophobia is the one that was making people jump?
No, Devour.
Oh, okay. I was like, is Phasmophobia is just like, it's not scary.
No, Devour is, I mean, Devour is not scary. It's just that it has so much to make you worry about, plus the jump scares.
I actually played, I don't know if I talked to you about this last week. I talked to somebody about it, but I played Phasmo with Doxy a couple weeks ago, and actually, like, as much as I love Doxy, I love hanging out with Doxy. She's a fun person to be with. Her technique of playing the game made the game less fun because it was too much technique. It was like actually approaching it like a problem, like a riddle to be solved, like it's difficult, as opposed to you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, that makes the game less fun. You know,
I went through a stage where I got to that point with Phasmophobia. Now I'm more to the messing around, having fun with it. I like scaring my friends more.
Yeah,
It's probably because you came to the game like a little bit later off the bat, so she'd played it a few more times. It like got down the technique.
But the thing is, like, once you use the technique, you win every time. And I just to me, a game like that, it's like the winning, like, you don't get an achievement. Like, winning doesn't merit you anything. So it's more like it should be episodic fun as opposed to end goal and trying to beat a game.
Yeah, I will say I like that they're making the professional difficulty much harder with each update, because then that makes that even if you go in perfectly, it's still terrifying.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Anyways, anybody else want to say anything? Neil?
Hi guys. You can find me later. In how many hours? 3 hours on twitch.tv/Olliran. For some D&D 5e Yavaskir, where I play a Deadless who, when I speak, makes my throat hurt a lot.
It's not when he speaks that causes that.
Way more than Scott. So, if you're bored, tune in. I don't know what we're doing. It's been a while. What are we doing? We're finding some elves. We got to deal with a shady guy to speak to, and he's going to get us in contact with some elvesy welsies.
I don't know what an elf is.
These are usurper elves, which is the drow of this setting. We'll see what happens.
Jake, anything you want to talk about? Jake the snake?
Don't call him a snake.
Jake the spider?
Jake
the
not
huntsman?
much. Just
I had to resist.
I've got right. Well, no. Warmonger is my other campaign that I'm in, which is on Monday night for you Americans, Tuesday for the true blues of the world. Now Scott, I believe, has to make 2 advisors for me, so Kingdom is on the come up.
He's gonna make.
Stop being down bad.
I made one.
Gonna make one
I made
more
one.
for me.
Good.
I made one, actually. Doxy, I think, helped to make it. It was, I think, a non-binary human, or...
Yeah, but there was also a...
I just have to add flavor to it.
Hype train on that one, which I won, and I also won a hype train today.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, 2 more. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
They're finally giving you some love. Okay.
Finally on the come up.
All
You
right.
can get rid of Mortifer.
No, Morty's really good.
No, he did really well catching some slavers and killing them.
He's actually not bad. Morty's not bad. He's just funny. Anyways, so, all right, cool. So we will take care of that. Obviously, that'll be coming up soon. And hey, listen, chat. If you are in Patreon, or if you want to be of the $1 tier or above, all of Adir, like, and I don't just mean Valorant, all of Adir is still being looked after by in various different ways, depending on who's on Patreon. It doesn't matter. But anybody who's in $1 tier or above on Patreon actually gets to have say in what happens in Valorant now. We have votes that take place, votes that were put in place in a secret chat in Discord. Joey was actually super kind to make these votes represented by emotes. Emotes, I'm going to make like special emotes for those votes moving forward, but that's fine. With the emotes, I will not tell you what happens with each in-game month's passing, each kingdom roll, until I have at least 11 votes, because there are like 20-something people in Patreon. So let's say it's like 28 people on Patreon. So unless I have at least 11 votes in there, not 11 votes towards a cause, just 11 votes in total, I will not do the result of what happened that month, because I need to make sure a decent number of the voices are represented, like 40% of the voices are represented before I move forward. So if you have not voted and you are a member of Patreon, Valorant Town Hall, check the pins, click your vote for the various things that are there, so we can do that shore up and start the next month for you guys, because it'll be an ongoing thing.
Everything you do to increase the power and glory of Valorant also increases the power and glory of Raerin's legacy.
I also wanted to remind you guys that if you are watching the Adir update streams, if you are watching the Adir update streams, what you can do instead is you can actually affect those kingdoms with utilizing Daddy's to do things like fortune's favors, trump cards, give them luck dice, stuff like that. You can actually do that kind of stuff over there, okay? I keep muting myself to you guys and screaming in their ears to punish them for trying to listen in. All right, cool. Ash, he's just confused. All right. Did you guys see one of the big votes that Joey put? I really gotta end the stream and get upstairs, but one of the big votes that that Joey had put on there. Let me just check this real quick.
Yeah, Valorant will be continued. But I was just reminding everyone that by continuing Valorant, they continue Raerin's legacy because everyone loves Raerin so much. I thought that might encourage them. They do. Some might say idolize. Others might say
spend a lot of time talking about him.
Others might say simp. You know.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go. Which again, just because I need at least 2 more votes. Lift religious ban on Lady Aravel Dark Eyes. Yes or no? 9 yeses, 0 nos. But again, I still need 2 more votes before yes or no before I act.
Oh no! Why would you say that to us? That's ruining everything we worked for. There's no way that Vrogar and Lady Aravel can work together.
Oh,
that's just not possible for Valorant.
Totally not possible.
No, it's not. Get out of here. I'm done with your shit.
Totally
rate
impossible.
a Polish person. Let's go. Come on.
What the fuck?
Oh, good. I'm glad he's gone. Now that Neil's gone. Bye, everybody. Do we have anybody to raid? I don't think so. I actually have a moment to check. Lunchbox is playing. Let's raid Lunchbox.
That works.
How do I know Lunchbox? I forget how I know Lunchbox.
I don't know that name, so.
I don't know. He's a friend of somebody that is a part of the community, so I don't remember who. But all right, everybody, let's go raid Lunchbox. Have a great day. Bye.